Hey, it's Jerry coming to you today from Rythmia Life Advancement Center in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. It's the end of our rainy season, but it's still a beautiful day here. Last week, I did this broadcast with Cesar Milan. We had an amazing week together. Cesar Milan, the dog whisperer. Talk a little bit about Rythmia. Rythmia is a life advancement center located in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. We've had over 17,000 guests, over 2,500 five-star TripAdvisor reviews, and the amazing statistics. So when people check out, they fill out a form, 98.85%. That's 988 out of every 1,000 say they had a life-changing miracle during their stay. The better stat is that 6 months, 90.22% of these people say this was the week that changed their life, Because of that, we've had an amazing amount of high-profile people here, many of which have joined our board of directors. Kelly Slater on our board of directors, the greatest surfer of all time. Ron White, the comedian, on our board of directors. Cesar Milan, the dog whisperer, on our board of directors. Frank Biden, Joe Biden's brother, on our board of directors. Michael Bernard Beckwith, founder of the Agape Spiritual Center, on our board of directors. Martin Luther King's son, Martin, a civil rights activist, on our board of directors. Earl Kosky, the businessman. Tony Coe, the founder of NYX Cosmetics, and a Fortune or Forbes 100 woman, on our board of directors. Jeff McNary, Brandy Sabella, all on our board of directors. Why did this group of people join our board of directors? Because what we do here works. What we do here is called a soul merger. And it's a super ancient thing. It's either called a soul reclamation or a soul merger. It's brought about by this multifaceted program at Rythmia that includes ayahuasca, farm-to-table organic food, breathwork, meditation, classwork, hours and hours of classwork, the cleanse, which cleanses you while you're here. This whole week happens and you're doing something all the time, topped off by 4 sessions of ayahuasca that brings about this soul merger. That's the most incredible thing. And that's what creates this great attraction from people all over the world. And they come here from all over the world every week. And it's regular people like you and me, plus billionaires, celebrities, athletes, musicians, and then again, regular people like you and me who come here. Now, what's interesting is once someone goes through this and they have a soul merger, which Cesar Milan calls a spiritual car wash to clean their energy, the soul merger happens. All of a sudden, they get clarity and they see, oh my God, I want to become a beneficial presence on the planet myself. They want to then devote their lives to helping people around them. Now, does that mean they give up everything and walk the path? No. It means that they try to find a way that they can merge, being a beneficial presence on the planet and making a living, right? So there's this thing. And then when they pick this thing, whether it's opening up a spiritual center like I did, or becoming a restaurant owner serving beautiful food, or an energy worker doing healings, or a better investment banker, or a better banker, or a better finance person, or a better mom, or a better dad, or a better spiritual leader, like becoming a Michael Bernard Beckwith, or something of this nature. Whatever it is, it incorporates all these things. And once they do it, they embark on another ceremony. When I was talking to Caesar, we call it the second ceremony. It's for the rest of your life. Once you decide this is what I want to do, that becomes your ceremony. And everything around it becomes your shaman, your helpers, the assistants, all around that. So what are some of the characteristics of it? Well, number one, it's going to be harder than anything you've ever done. It's going to take longer than you could ever imagine. And it's going to bear more fruit beyond your wildest dreams. Your wildest dreams. That is the truth of it, the absolute truth of it. So what are some of the things that can keep us on the path while we're doing this? Because we got to stay in the path. Number one, you have to pick it from a merged area. If you pick it from an unmerged area, an unmerged part of yourself, and you do it for the neighbor or for your mom or for Uncle Tom or for to impress a guy or a gal, you're doing it for the wrong reasons, and it won't stick. Why won't it stick? Because doing this kind of stuff is the hardest thing in the world. And the bigger your vision, the harder it's going to be. The more light you bring, the more dark is going to come at you. This is a hard journey, and it is not for the weak. This is for people with fortitude and grit. That is it, right? So what are some of the things you can do to make this easier? Because it is hard. It really is hard. Well, you can't make it easier, but there are principles and rules that allow this journey. How do I know? Well, I've been lucky my whole life. I became a millionaire in my 20s. I sold a company for just under 90 million. I was 43, and I got lucky and started this, and this is working. So I have a history of being lucky. What are some of the fundamental rules that you need to apply in order to get lucky after you have this soul merger and you pick the way in which you want to become a beneficial presence on the planet? Number one, you have to tithe. Why? I don't know why. I just know that it works. Do you tithe to a church? No. Or you might want to. But what it is, it's an agreement with the universe that you're going to take a percentage of your new income, usually 7 to 10%, and you're going to guarantee that out of your delta. So if you're making $100,000 a year in your regular life, and you want to do this thing that is going to make you a beneficial presence on the planet, then you say to the universe, everything I make over 100,000, I will take 10% of, and I will donate that or give that back to the universe in the form of gifts. That's what tithing is. That's number one. Number two, you have to make agreements with yourself that are non-cancelable. The first agreement is to the cause, because the cause has to be bigger than you. So my first agreement to rythmia is I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it the best of its kind on earth, and I will never quit, ever. That's my agreement. I signed it with my heart. You have to do that to how you want to become this beneficial presence. You have to. There's no way around it. That's the second thing. Part of that, though, is that I'm going to do things every day to keep me on track. What are those things? Well, the number one thing is spiritual mind treatment or prayer. I'm going to have a daily practice. I like spiritual mind treatments because you're thanking the universe for things that have not yet happened. So how do you structure a spiritual mind treatment? Well, first you have to make an agreement that I'm going to do it every day, regardless of how I feel, what happened, what my neighbor did, that the refrigerator broke, that you're going to do it every day. And what does it look like? Well, it looks like you getting in a mode of gratitude, praying to God and saying, God, thank you for these things you have given me. And you put something you already received, my beautiful sons, and then Rythmia Life Advancement Center, and then to become this. So you put things that you haven't got yet, but you make the feeling tone like you've received them. That's a spiritual mind treatment. One thing that I got, one thing that's coming to me. One thing that I got, one thing that's coming to me. But thank, live, and feel as if you already received them. That's it. And do that every day. Then you have to have some movement, whether you do that in yoga or walking or going to the gym or playing golf or tennis or whatever you do. But you have to have something every day. And then you have to make an agreement to diet, whatever that diet is. I'm going to live this particular way, because the healthiest you is able to manifest the greatest way of becoming a beneficial presence on the planet. This is all part of the deal. I have friends who are billionaires. I have friends who are super famous. I have Jack Canfield, forgot him today, sits on my board of directors. He wrote a book, Chicken Soup with a Soul. That book, I think, sold 50 million copies. 50 million copies. And he was at his 144th publisher. 143 publishers told him no. The 144th one said yes. So what I'm going to tell you, in order to amass the grit is a great word, but in order to amass the grit to bring your way of becoming a beneficial presence or your lodestar into reality is going to take the most amount of grit and sustenance that you could ever imagine. But it's going to be the most beautiful time of your life. It's going to be the hardest. I hate using this word, the juiciest in the bear. Because that's a spiritual word, but it's a great word for this. It's going to be the hardest, the juiciest, and the most beneficial to you and to those around you of any part of your life. But it starts with this. So I want to invite you to Rythmia. I want you to come here. I want you to experience this, because I'm doing this now for 9 years, I believe. And I get to see these people who come back every single year, and I see how their lives are progressed. And this could be you. You have to get here. You have to have a soul merger, and then you have to pick the way in which you want to pay it back to the universe. And that is the truth. So make your way here. In the interim, there's 2 books that are out. It's SH*T, The Moon Said, which is a good book about the birth of Rythmia, and Truthonomics, which is a book about manifesting. But more importantly than that, come here, experience this for yourself. See why everybody in the world is coming here. See why. And I guarantee you that once you've been here and once you go through it, that your life will be forever changed. Promise you, and I'll see you at Rythmia. Cheers.